Okay guys, hello, welcome again. So let's now start on chapter 9 of this book, Behind the Scene of Banyamulenge Military. So chapter 9 is pretty much started by the establishment of RCD. So this is 1998, and then the 1997 when the Rwandan troops, they are leaving, James Karebe, who was also the commander in the Congolese army, was expelled, given 24 hours to leave the country. So around this time, Rwandan troops, they are leaving Congo, and Rwandans wanted Banyamulenge to leave, to go with them to leave Congo, but Banyamulenge refused, as you have listened to the previous videos. So but the reason they wanted the Banyamulenge to leave, to go with them, is because they knew they were going to start another rebellion, which is RCD. They knew the lives of those Banyamulenge living in Lubumbashi, Kindu, all those areas. They knew their lives were in danger. So the Rwandans wanted all people to leave, but they never explained to Banyamulenge, hey, the reason we want to leave is because we want to start a new rebellion and we feared for your lives. They never said that. If they said that, Banyamulenge would have left. But instead they just said, let all go to Rwanda. Let's leave. You can't stay here. People are like, this is our country. Why should we go to Rwanda? So they refused. And then after that, RCD was launched anyway. And then what happened in Lubumbashi, that's the worst massacre for Banyamulenge. We lost hundreds of people. So, and they have nothing to do with the rebellion which was started. So simply because RCD is made of Banyamulenge Tutsis, and now all Banyamulenge all over the country who had nothing to do with the new rebellion, they all have to be massacred. So they kill people in Lubumbashi prison. Their fellow soldiers will come turn down guns on them, on the commanders or other soldiers of Banyamulenge. So they were killed. And the surprising thing is that even people from other tribes, like Bashi people who were with Banyamulenge, they were also killed. Simply, if you were in Lubumbashi, Kinshasa, and you spoke Swahili, automatically they just think you are less of Congolese. You are part of the RCD, which just started. And those people, they have nothing. So, and many Bashi people, they had training with Banyamulenge, all those Kadogos, and they had pretty much friendship, talking, And then, when Banyamulenge were being killed, some of those guys were also killed. So, that is the very, very interesting, surprising fact I'm finding out. So, another area is when there was other Banyamulenge, they were in Kindu. So, this let me see, Segabiro. So this Banyamulenge commander, his name was Segabiro. He was in Kindu, and he feared that his people might be killed, his soldiers. So he has about 60 soldiers Banyamulenge and more than other thousands from other Congolese. So he escaped, he left, he marched, walking from Kindu heading to South Kivu. But he was very, very opposed to RPA, opposed to Rwanda. So he was not happy about the new movement RCD they just launched. And he just came back to Kivu, so Sud Kivu. But at the same time, he was not someone who argued with the RCD or RPA. So on his way, RCD sent troops, RPA, to go help him so that he doesn't get killed or attacked by the Kabila soldier. So on his way from kasika, from Kindu, he arrived in a place called the Kasika, that is in South Kivu. It's a territory inhabited by the Nyindu tribe, that tribe neighboring to Banyamulenge. So after they arrived in the Kasika, the king from the Nyindu tribe, received them well. And that was like a few hours after they had met the RPA soldiers who came to help them. So they're all together with the RPA. So they arrived in that village of Kasika of Nyindu village. And then after arriving there, this Segabiro, this commander Banyamulenge, he was in the car, in his vehicle, while his soldiers went maybe in the villages to get food or something. And then all of a sudden, he was shot dead with his other commander and the woman who was next to him. Nobody survived and nobody knew what happened. And there was no other soldiers from Kabila or anybody in the area. So it's obvious they were killed by RPA soldiers, Rwandan, or RCD, because RCD and RPA, they were one thing. Simply because they knew he was going to be a danger to them later on. And that was the strategy to weaken Banyamulenge so they can control Banyamulenge. Because from the past, Banyamulenge were not getting along with RPA, RCD thing. So, killing him was one of the ways to weaken Banyamulenge. But the sad thing, after they killed him, they also killed everybody in the village, including the king who just accepted them, feed them, the Nyindu king. I forget his name, but it is mentioned in the book. So, that is the Kasika massacre. So I have never heard of Kasika massacre until I read this book. So about 1,000 civilians, everybody in that village was killed for no reason. So they killed them to justify that Banyamulenge's commander was killed in their village. They killed him, which is fake, fabricated. And now they created a tension between the Nyindu and the Banyamulenge for no any reason. So that's some of the facts I learned. Let me see if I don't forget anything. Yeah, another thing I learned from this chapter is that during Mutebutsi war, Mutebutsi fighting, so some soldiers who escaped from Kindu, they went, I think maybe, I'm not sure the place they escaped from, but they were Banyamulenge. So they went to report to Bukavu. Bujamabe was the leader at this time in the area. So Musamabe just finished fighting with Mutebutsi, and Banyamulenge who were deployed in other places, such as Walikale, they were also killed, massacred. And then those who survived the massacre of their fellow soldiers, they ran still. They went to report to Musamabe that they are running away, the massacre, and then he accepted them. You know, again, this is Banyamulenge. So your fellow soldiers, they just massacred you, and then they still have to go to report to the head of the command in the area, which is Musamabe in Bukavu. So that just to prove how royal they are, even though they are being killed by their fellow soldiers. And then after that, the same soldiers later on they were used to go. Around the same time in Bukavu, Laurent Kunda, he came to help Banyamulenge during the Mutebutsi fight. So he came from North Kivu. He came after arriving in Bukavu. People say he had a disagreement with Mutebutsi because Mutebutsi had a higher rank, but Laurent Kunda had more soldiers at that time, and Laurent Kunda kind of wanted to be in charge, but they kind of disagree. So Laurent Kunda decided to head back, and that's pretty much what happened. So Laurent Kunda just came to help those Banyamulenge, and then things don't get well. He left again, and then later on, those Banyamulenge who survived the massacre in Walikale, who came to report it to Musamabe, later on they went to fight Kunda during M23 or CNDP. So it's just interesting how those people keep fighting. So you come to save me, but tomorrow I go fight you. So very, very confusing, interesting things. But what I learned from this chapter is that Banyamulenge who were killed, they had nothing to do with the violence or the rebellions. So it was innocent people who happened to be in area where Banyamulenge are very minority, and they had to be killed simply because people from their tribe, they had started some rebellion. So again, that is very, very terrible past, but I'm glad I'm learning the past so I can understand what happened. So, and right now the situation is getting better in Minembwe. People are having some agreements, they are talking things out, and so far they haven't been fighting. I don't know if it's because of the corona or simply it's agreement. They are talking and trying to build peace, But whatever happening in Sud Kivu, it's getting better. The situation is getting better, and we all need to forgive and live together. And that's what I have for today.